World leaders have gathered at the UN climate conference, and the whole point of this conference is, of course, to talk about ways to combat climate change, ways to reduce carbon emissions, and come up with various timelines in doing so. Now, the United States has decided to send someone to essentially push the types of policies that Trump would be in favor of. In fact, his energy advisor, a man by the name of Wells Griffith, spoke during one of the panels, and it was embarrassing not only for him, but also for America. Take a look.
We strongly believe that no country should have to sacrifice economic prosperity or energy security in pursuit of environmental sustainability. The United States is now the #1 combined oil and gas producer in the world. If we are serious about eradicating poverty and providing universal access to affordable, reliable energy, it is clear that energy innovation and fossil fuels will continue to play a leading role. Energy access.
Yeah, so that happened.
Yeah, we were laughed at on the international stage, and rightfully so. I mean, the idea that you go to a climate change panel and you talk about how awesome fossil fuels are, that's a big FU to the whole planet. I mean, somebody asked later, look, there's climate scientists all across the world, they all agree we have about 12 years left before catastrophe hits. So for the entire planet, if we had a meteor, for example, that was gonna hit the planet in 12 years, and every scientist in the world agreed that it was gonna hit, would we be like, who cares, let's not do anything about it? And that's in essence what America is doing. In fact, they're celebrating the demise of the planet by saying, yeah, but I'm still making money off of it.
It's interesting how you should juxtapose the response by the United States and the response by China, because around 45% of carbon emissions come from those two countries, from the United States and China. Now, where the United States is so hyper-focused on protecting the oil and gas industry, China has actually seen climate change and efforts to save the environment as an economic opportunity. So they have focused on developing solar panels. They have been a lot more serious than the United States when it comes to combating climate change. But look, the reason why I bring that up is because it doesn't have to be this huge economic burden to do something about carbon emissions, right? There is an economic opportunity there with renewable energies. It's just that our fossil fuel industry and the people who run the fossil fuel industry are too lazy and unwilling to adapt to a changing time and to different technology.
And too greedy.
Too greedy, yes.
And so, look, to further what Anna is saying, coal jobs in this country are now about 76,000, that's about it. And whereas solar panel jobs are over 360,000 jobs. So there's actually bigger economic benefit in creating solar jobs in the country. But the coal companies and the oil companies and the gas companies that own our politicians and donate to people like Donald Trump and the Republican Party, they don't care about how well solar is doing or how many jobs it's creating. They just care about me, 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 me. I want the money now. If the planet melts later, that's not my problem, although it is, and they, but they're infinite greed. They're like the dwarves in Lord of the Rings. They keep digging until they hit the Balrog. And so, in actually to finish my analogy from earlier, because apparently I'm full of analogies, with the meteor going to hit in 12 years. That was basically a pro-meteor speech.
That's right.
Could you imagine? Like, the planet's going to be destroyed by a meteor, and we get up and we go, yes, but there are like 10 or 20 oil executives in America that would profit from the meteor today, so we are in favor of the meteor. People are like, what are you saying? You're insane. And they are. They're driven insane by their greed.
Now, after the laughter at what Trump's energy advisor had to say, the crowd actually decided to chant, and I wanted to show you a little of that.
We hold the solutions, and we know that we must keep it in the ground. I said keep it in the ground. 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 Farmers have been mined, drilled, fracked, and poisoned with radioactivity.
I love that.
Yeah, I mean, look, the guy's sitting up there like,
Yeah.
what am I gonna do? I mean, he knows they're right?
Right, and he's uncomfortable, which I'm enjoying. But I also want to give credit to those who participated in the chant because they got me moving a little bit. I'm like, yeah, keep it in the ground. Keep it in the ground. Like they know how to get the message across. That was good.
By the way, they did that for about 10 minutes, which seems like a long time, and then they left. So like in America, they would have been like, immediately baton them, pepper spray them.
That's true.
Right?
Yep.
Destroy them, crack their skulls. This chanting must immediately be ended. ExxonMobil has ordered it, right? And what do? Okay, there's protesters in Europe. They let them protest, and then it's over.
And then it's over. And then after they left, the pro-fossil fuel propaganda continued. Let's go to graphic 12 real quick. Administration officials continued with their pitch for carbon capture technologies to clean up coal, hydraulic fracking to unearth gas, and a new generation of nuclear energy plants.
And Dr. Evil. Like just because they couldn't add anything more in the dirty fuels category. So there's some reports that some of the people in the State Department are still quietly working on regulations that would help if there were to be another administration in 2020 that changed their minds. Okay, so to those quiet heroes, we appreciate that you went over to the conference and are at least working behind the scenes. And of course, when Donald Trump hears that, he will fire the entire State Department. Like what you see? Click the subscribe button below and don't forget to ring the bell to never miss another video from the Young Turks.